Behind bars in Burrel prison, the interrogation of Petrac began.
Me qenë që unë shpranoja, se s'kisha asnjë fakt të veprimtarisë time, nuk pranoja, thoj realitetin siç ishte. Atëherë filluan torturat, 3 veta. Më përplasin në mur, përdhej me shqelma kokës si të rrithinte momenti. Sikur thash, jo një shkencëtar që kishte dhënë një jetë të tërë për të punuar për zhvillimin e industrisë naftës, por një kafshë. Metodat mesjetare të inkvizicionit. Unë vazhdoj mos pranoj, atëherë filluan to vazhdoni me orë, me ditë, pastaj kaluan në përveç presionit fizik, kaluan dhe atë psikik. Duke më bërë presion ndaj rrethit tim familjar, ndaj fëmijëve të mi, ndaj gruas, që do t'i internojnë, do t'i marrin, do t'i fusim, do t'a dhe mbur, e gjera. Atëherë ishte pa përmbajtshme, nuk mund ta duroje dot të presion psikologjik dhe kërkova thash mos më trazoni fëmijët thash.
A few days after he confessed, his children were expelled from school. The police then raided the flat and confiscated all the family property. Janita was told she and the children would face internal exile unless she divorced her husband.
Gjatë këtyre 5 vjetëve nga një familje e lumtur u kthyem në një nga familjet më të mira ose ndër më të mirët që ekzistonin në Shqipëri, sepse kishim ndjekje, persekutime, ngado që vinim na ruanin nga mbrapa dhe këtë gjë unë ndjeva për 2 vjet rresht, ndjeva që kisha njerëz që më ruante nga mbrapa, po ashtu edhe fëmijët e mi ishin të tmerruar, nuk mund të dilnin dot, edhe kur shkonja në Tiranë mund të dilnin vetëm natën, sepse ditën të gjithë njerëzit na shikonin si me frikë. Domethënë kishim frikë të na flisnin dhe neve kishim frikë që t'u flisnin. Prandaj ishim jashtëzakonisht shqetësuar.
Last year, both children escaped from Albania. They now live in the United States. At the end of March this year, Petrac was released. He and his wife now stay in their apartment. They're nervous of even walking in the street. When they do venture out, they're followed by the security police.
Tani kushtet që kam dalë, si edhe përpara vendin tim e dua. Shqipëria është ardheu im, është vendi im, dhe s'ka se mos ta dua të tjerë. Jeta ime këtu është e vështirë. Sepse nuk kam besim në dëshmërinë që mund bëhet ndaj meje apo ndaj familjes.
Since Petrac Jajka's release in March, he's once again been able to meet one of his old colleagues who was released on the same day. Minia Arapi was arrested at the same time, but they never met in prison. While in jail, Minia was told by his children that his wife, Lumturi, was not well. But when he was suddenly released last month, he discovered she had lost her senses shortly after his arrest.
Rajin di shpërndësel dhe filloi një qarje vazhdueshme. Çdo ditë po thoshte qandër me gjithë për kur ai ekipin fëmia ushtruan në spital, prap doli e pashëruar në më thonë mjekët thanë që kjo ka nga tronitja e madhe nga mbërthime të mëdha që pësojnë për shkak të arrestimit. Në të gjendje që është ajo, unë vuaj shumë. Se di që ajo është pasojë e tragjedisë ime. Ajo ka punuar mbi 30 vjet në naftë dhe ajo, ka qenë teknike, dhe kur shikojnë në këtë gjendje tani, dëshpërimi, unë e quaj domosë lidhimin tim të kotë.
Last month, Petrac and his wife did go out. They went to their local registry office. There, they were married for the second time.
Petrac, edhe Jani, para se të ashtu të lexojmë disa ligje që kanë të bëjnë me martesën, pastaj në fund ato tjera. Bashkëshortët kanë kundrejt njëri tjetrit të njëjtat të drejtat e tyre. Ata duan të respektojnë njëri tjetrin, të mbruajnë besnikin bashkëtorë, të ndihmojnë njëri tjetrin në përmbushjen e të gjitha detyrimeve familjare shoqërore, të marrin pjesë në përmbushjen e të gjitha detyrimeve familjare shoqërore, të marrin pjesë në plotësimin e nevojave materiale dhe kulturore të familjes.
An hour's drive from the capital is the Adriatic town of Durrës. In the summer, selected workers are put in beach cabins for a 2-week holiday. Such conditions were once unknown to these two men. Bashkim and Skander Shehu lived for more than 20 years of their lives an existence that most Albanians could only dream of. When they came to Durrës for their summer holidays, there was no ramshackle cabin waiting for them, for they were the sons of the Prime Minister.
We used to come here for a holiday every year, and that was our house, the fourth along there.
15 or 20 rooms in all the house. Our family had servants, 5 or 6 or 7. I don't remember quite exactly now, but that was the number. And at the time when other people lived here in those cabins, as you can see there, 3, 4, 5 persons in a room, and they have difficulties to get food, even worse than in camp of refugees.
But life for the two brothers was spent mostly in the capital, Tirana. In a country where everybody else walked, they had the pick of cars to drive. In a city where most people lived in slums, the Shehus lived in the Prime Minister's mansion. Their father, Mehmet Shehu, became Prime Minister of Albania in 1954. For 27 years he controlled the regime, second only to Albania's dictator, President Enver Hoxha. Together, the two men organized the imprisonment, the torture, and frequently the execution of their opponents.
He loved us very much, and he wished our good and tried and worked for our good as he thought it. I should say also, on the other hand, that he was severe, excessively severe. It was his character.
But in 1981, after 27 years in power, Mehmet Shehu was the victim of a power struggle. Orders were given for his disgrace. He was called before a full meeting of the Politburo, and for an entire day was harangued on his communist principles. When the meeting broke up, the Prime Minister was advised to reflect carefully on his position. That night, Mehmet Shehu committed suicide.
We are shocked, as you say, and we couldn't think clearly what they said, what happened. We were quite confused, all of us.
Soon afterwards, the dead Prime Minister's eldest son, Vladimir, was arrested and interrogated. On his release, he too took his own life.
I think, and I'm convinced, that he committed suicide because the interrogators were seeking from him to incriminate our father. And because he didn't want to make this, he committed suicide.
Soon after that, Bashkim and Skander were arrested along with their mother. All three were accused of the most serious crimes against the state.